Less talk, more action.
I'd say one of the biggest challenges I faced through my academic career is a feeling of isolation. I think doing a PhD or academic research is naturally an isolating experience, but this gets exacerbated when you're the only person who looks like you, or you don't see your culture reflected at all in your environment.
One challenge I face as a black person studying in the STEM field is that there is a lack of representation of black people in higher academic roles that I can aspire to be in.
You often find yourself, and I specifically have found myself as the only one in, say, in a department, the only one at a conference, and so on and so forth. And even going up through the ranks, I haven't seen myself. You never really see yourself.
I think the college and higher education sectors should care about Black History Month because it's a moment to appreciate, celebrate and showcase the rich talents and histories of the black staff and students who may have been discriminated against and overlooked in these very same institutions. It's also an opportunity to bridge the gap between black staff and students and the academy. This will encourage black youth to enter academia, pursue their passions and contribute to our understanding of how the world works.
For me, Imperial and the wider higher education sector should care about Black History Month because it's a way of enfranchising people that are often overlooked. But it's also a way of bringing understanding, bring cohesiveness between communities where people are allowed to learn about each other and their differences.
For me, it's not just about the speakers sharing their experiences. It's more about what the higher education community is doing to make the academic spaces more inclusive for all, irrespective of their race or culture.
The college should care about Black History Month for the simple reason that the history of racism in the UK and how it impacts universities is still too little understood by too many people, and I include myself in that. So I'm really pleased to be part of the History and Legacy group at the college that's taking a hard look at our history and what it means for us today.
And I think this month of Black History Month is a really good time to reflect on Imperial's past and its relationship with Empire, because I think some of the things that we'll be discovering are going to be very important in helping us move forward and to make Imperial a place that starts to reflect London and the United Kingdom in terms of the composition of the staff and the students. Because if we don't understand our past, I don't think we can move forward in an effective way.
History is the narrative by which we understand the world and how we arrived at this position. And I think for too long, the role that the black community has played has gone unappreciated and actually erased. And Black History Month serves as a clear statement that this can't continue to happen.
In today's world and everything that has happened this year, I believe Black History Month means to come to terms with the reality that many black people are facing with regards to discrimination and unwarranted violence from the very same institutions that are meant to be protecting them. It's to understand that what has surfaced this year is not a one-off random incident, but a pattern that has existed for the most part of recent history. Therefore, we need to actively combat these injustices in our workplaces and our lives.
In today's world, celebrating Black History Month shouldn't just be about looking back on black oppression or celebrating historical black achievements, but it should be about using learnings from the past and the present to positively impact the future for black communities.
For me, it's a chance to learn more about a history that's not taught in schools. It's about people whitewashed out of the curriculum. It's about people who left the colonies to serve and die for another country. It's about the way we've been betrayed over and over and over again. But most of all for me, it's a chance. It's a chance to celebrate our diversity, our community, and the creative ways in which we endure, we build and we grow.
Black History Month actually conflicts me, especially in today's world. One, because I often learn about someone new, a hidden figure or so, but at the same time, it's the importance that's placed on Black History Month. I don't like the fact that a lot of people just see this as one time where we highlight and make black people the poster boys or poster girls of campaigns and just look for visibility in that sense.
Change at Imperial starts with recognising that although Black History Month is an annual celebration for black arts, black history and black culture, it shouldn't really just be confined to 1 month, and then the needs of their black students and academics ignored for the rest of the year. Action is needed to produce a year-round holistic approach to equality of opportunity.
I think one thing I'd really like to see change is the idea that a particular viewpoint or experience is the default. For too long, the white community have been the protagonists of history, and that leads to the erasure of other cultures and communities' achievements and strengths. I think it's the root of the vilification and othering of people of color. I think it's important to change this ideology because it inhibits empathy, and I think we'll find the world to be a much richer, diverse, and empathetic place when we remove the idea that one experience is the story.
I want to see a change in the diversity of academic staff. It would be nice to see a black female professor at Imperial. To my knowledge, Imperial has 0 black female professors, which is quite a shame.
The fact that Imperial College London is based in London, which is a multicultural melting pot, and Imperial does not reflect that, says a lot about the institution where it's currently at and what needs to change and where it needs to be.
To use the analogy of wheelchair users, it may not be enough to just have equally open doors. We may need to think about ramps at these doors too, if we truly want to enable the change we seek.
From our boardrooms to our decision-making meetings and environments, let's strive for a more inclusive and diverse setup so that we can include experiences and interests from varied backgrounds. Let's agree to have the difficult conversations now so that another person will not look down or mistreat another in any way, shape or form due to the color of their skin or the origin of their culture. There's a lot more beyond the skin color.
A bright future for our black community is one where black people can be fully themselves in the wider community and do not need to spend thought cycles on trying to fit in or second guess what others think of them.
For me, a bright future for the black community is one of confidence and freedom. The confidence to be who we are, to like what we like, and to love who we love. And the freedom from the fear of feeling like we have to represent an entire culture or race. The confidence to apply ourselves and reach for a wide variety of jobs and fields and positions, and freedom from the fear of castigation for having reached skyward. I think a bright future for the black community would feature celebration and pride in being able to say I am black and the uniqueness that brings to society. That's what I hope for.
A bright future for the black community will be a day when black people can live and excel in all facets of society without being judged by the color of their skin, but rather celebrated by the flourishing of their talents and the excellence of their deeds.
A bright future for our black community would be a future where we don't need to hold initiatives like this one, and that we come here to thrive and fulfill our academic and research aspirations. A bright future at Imperial would be one where we empower black students and staff and cultivate black talent.
A bright future for the black community is one where the next generation can see themselves at every level, where there's nothing that is deemed too difficult to aspire to, with whatever dreams you want, we can essentially access them, and access is important too, just access in general.
So let's make this October different, and let's make it not any other Black History Month. Let's actually do something to make it different. Yes, you do something to change this, because at the end of the day, it's less talk and more action.